This looks just like butter,
Smells and tastes like the butter we're all familiar with.
but it's actually a butter alternative.
All done releasing zero greenhouse gases, backed by Bill Gates.
Environmentally friendly, but also tastes great.
It's a totally non-agricultural method for producing food.
Using no farmland to feed cows.
We've been really excited to explore a new technical approach.
They call this a new technical approach, but there's nothing new about this approach at all. It's actually an old concept that dates back to World War II, when butter wasn't used to save the planet, but needed to survive war. Due to a total naval blockade, Germany was in dire need of food with natural fats. In order to feed its population, its prisoners, and its military, chemists in Germany developed a method to convert coal into petroleum called the Fischer-Tropsch process. They use the same process to create an edible fat known as coal butter. So this isn't anything new. It's been around for decades, but it was never meant to save the environment. In the 1940s, it was a last resort during war when there wasn't enough food. Today, carbon butter is marketed as a healthy alternative that protects the environment and saves cows.
This is really about how we feed our species and heal our planet at the same time.
A new way to make the food that will be better for you, healthier for you. These products are very safe and very nutritious.
Bill Gates, who wrote in his blog, quote, "The idea of switching to lab-made fats and oils may seem strange at first, but their potential to significantly reduce our carbon footprint is immense."
But is the company Bill Gates funds really the future of food? Or is it a secret from the past that was better left there? Savior's operation takes place in a 25,000 square foot building in Batavia, Illinois. In addition to carbon butter, they also produce alternatives to palm oil and milk fat using the same process.
Savior's made an advance in the chemistry. It's ultra different in terms of the environmental footprint.
They take captured carbon dioxide or methane from natural gas and put it through a thermochemical process. It's basically a process that takes gas elements and heats them together to make a stick of butter.
It's really just our fat, some water, a little bit of lecithin as an emulsifier, and some natural flavor and color.
Fats are made up of carbon and hydrogen chains. The goal here? Replicate those chains without animals or plants.
According to Savior, they take carbon dioxide from the air and hydrogen from water and heat them up. Then it gets oxidized, which gives it a texture and look that resembles candle wax. But it's really just synthetic fat molecules, similar to what you would find in beef or cheese.
Fatty acids are those building blocks of any kind of fats and oil, and so we build them into triglycerides, and then with triglycerides we can create all these different recipes for different applications in the food industry.
It's really about sustainability.
Sustainability is why we are here.
Unlike traditional ways of making butter, they don't rely on farmland to feed cows, and their entire process releases no greenhouse gases. They also say they don't use palm oil in the butter, which is helping in saving trees. Savior's branding is all about saving the environment.
In addition to the carbon footprint being much lower for a process like this,
We can make fats and oils on 1,000th the footprint of traditional agriculture.
It's a guilt-free way of enjoying the foods we love without killing the planet.
Savior will be a key ingredient to help them achieve food that is environmentally friendly, but also tastes great.
It's ironic though, because the two gases blamed for destroying Earth, carbon dioxide and methane, are key to Savior's process. This makes their brand even stronger. Savior markets their product as if it were a new technology, something revolutionary to save the planet and help climate change. But what they don't include in their marketing is a past that dates back decades to World War II, when it was called coal butter before it was ever known as carbon butter. Coal butter was made out of necessity when the German regime were looking for ways to have access to things like oil before the start of World War II. When war started, Germany would need a lot of oil, but they didn't have much. What they did have was a ton of coal though. Two German scientists, Franz Fischer and Hans Tropsch, found a way to create synthetic oil from coal, since they are both forms of carbon. They came up with a process that involved gasifying the coal. They use steam and oxygen to break the coal down into carbon dioxide and hydrogen, which then went to a metal catalyst to produce the liquid fuel. This became known as the Fischer-Tropsch process.
Coal, which is elemental carbon, reacts with water to produce carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas, or syngas. Then, in a second reaction, carbon monoxide reacts with hydrogen gas in the presence of a catalyst at high temperature and pressure to produce hydrocarbons of varying length and water.
During the war, Germany needed a lot more fat than it could supply on its own. This meant they had to rely on foreign oils and crops from other countries that were vulnerable to naval blockade. To solve that problem and to prevent mass starvation, a chemist named Arthur Emhausen discovered that adding glycerin to the synthetic wax produced by the Fischer-Tropsch process created an edible fat. With the help of IG Farben, a large chemical and pharmaceutical company, they started producing the world's first synthetic edible fat. But there were problems. It had no taste and looked white with a waxy feel, so it wasn't really something you'd want to eat. To give it some taste, Emhausen added salt and a chemical liquid that tastes like butter called diacetyl. It's the same flavoring used in microwave popcorn, and to give it that real yellow buttery look, he added beta-carotene to the mix as well. Another problem they faced was feeding their military with this coal butter. It had to be safe and right for the ones who were fighting the war. They couldn't have soldiers passing out on the battlefield because they ate this fat, so they needed to test it, and they already had a bunch of human lab rats to experiment on. We're talking about inmates in the German camp system. To make sure it was right for the military, the regime conducted a study on 6,000 inmates within the camp system. They tracked these inmates and watched them closely. Their test results were published in a scientific paper stating that thousands of tests were performed that proved the value of synthetic cooking fat. As a result, coal butter became the world's first synthetic food to be approved for human consumption. What the paper neglected to report, though, was where those thousands of tests were being performed and who was being tested. British intelligence reviewed documents after the war and learned that scientists from the German regime were cherry-picking data to support their claim that coal butter was safe for human consumption. But when animals ate this stuff for a long time, it caused their bones to lose calcium. They were also met with severe kidney problems. It didn't even pass a sniff test with dogs because they didn't even want to eat it. There's no real data from our past to show how the human body processes synthetic butter made from gases. We have no idea what the long-term effects will be, and this stuff is going to be in everything, like your favorite pastries and whatever else butter is used for at your favorite restaurant.
We are a self-GRAS, which means that by the current standard of this country, we can sell these ingredients.
So what exactly is she talking about when she says they're self-GRAS? Well, she's not talking about their lawn. GRAS, G-R-A-S, is what the government uses to classify ingredients in our food.
It's called GRAS, or generally recognized as safe. It has allowed big food companies to use ingredients without a full government safety review.
For now, the butter is featured in some dishes at a few high-end restaurants, mostly in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's not expected to hit supermarkets until late 2027. It might even be a regular ingredient in packaged foods like cookies and crackers sometime in 2029. Savior's butter is a good reminder that looks can be deceiving. It's like seeing a $20 bill that looks totally real. You just never know. It could have been made by the world's best counterfeiter. To see how he got away with printing more than $250 million, check this video out right here.